Okay, no smoking weed this time because someone had asked me a question and I felt it deserved a pertinent answer. And the question was, why don't I tell people that I'm a cancer survivor? Well, it never really dawned on me that it was any big thing, but here's the thing. I got a couple people I know that I'm friends with that unfortunately have the same kind of cancer that I had. And what happened was, during a routine blood test back in Jersey about 10 years ago, it might be more now, the primary care physician found out that I had an elevated PSA level, which means something to do with the prostate. When he told me it was beyond his field of expertise, I had to go to a urologist specialist or whatever. So I go to a specialist who basically, they have to have a biopsy of this because they feel it's might be whatever, cancer. And what happened was I got the butt plug from hell. We took a sample of the tissue. It was indeed prostate cancer. Of course, when anybody hears that you have cancer, your mind sort of shuts down and you're in survival mode and you're looking for a way out. Unfortunately, in my case, I didn't have too many people having my back at this point, so it was sort of like I had to make the decision of radiation chemotherapy, radiation seeding, or have it removed. I didn't want to be married to another fucking doctor, so I opted to have it removed, and it was going to be robotic surgery. Well, I had this wonderful HMO that basically I had, how many hours of major surgery. I was only allowed to stay overnight. I never got brought to a hospital room. I was in the recovery room with a draft blowing on me all night, and things were going on. I was kicked out the next day in a snowstorm. My abdomen was so fucking swollen that I had to take a knife in the bathroom of the room I was in to cut my sweatpants so I could basically tie them in front of me. Alright, so I go home with a fucking catheter, the whole bit, everything's going to be fucking hunky-dory. Well, go to the doctor, I have the catheter removed, he gives me the fucking okay. I go home and all of a sudden, I don't feel that great. I drank like a fucking half-gallon of iced tea in like 5 minutes and running a slight fever. So I call the surgeon back and he goes, well, that sometimes happens after the catheter's out. Now this was like on a Friday. Okay, Saturday I really feel shitty and I got like fucking stabbing pain here in my shoulder. But being that I'm loaded with arthritis and was basically seeing a chiropractor 3 times a week at that point, that's what I figured it was. But I'm having trouble breathing, so I slept in a fucking recliner and I got up and I can't get across the fucking room to take a leak. I said, something's fucking wrong. Called the surgeon, he goes, call an ambulance, yada yada yada. I get rushed to the fucking hospital, I'm in the ER. I asked the attending physician how bad, and she told me if you had waited another hour we wouldn't be having this conversation. Long story short, they fucked up on the blood work. I had a clot that formed in my femoral vein, which is down in my groin, traveled up and took out my left fucking lung. Basically, I had pneumonia, collapsed fucking lung. It was fucking horrible. So basically that HMO, to save money and kick me out after not even 1 day in the fucking hospital, made me go back, and I had to spend 10 wonderful days in St. Barnabas Medical Center in Livingston, where I basically was allowed to lay in my own fucking filth until my mother, who was one of the first graduating students of the nursing class of St. Barnabas Medical Center, came to see me and saw what kind of horrible fucking condition I was in and raised the roof. It was the worst care I ever got, and to be honest with you, I was fading. I mean, I was looking at myself and I could see myself fading. I couldn't get out of bed, I couldn't fucking move, and the only thing that worked was my ex-wife came in, who was suffering from MS, but had basically reached the point with the medical profession that they suck and was doing ulterior, healing, and she became a Reiki practitioner. Well, she asked if she could do this on me, and I said, you know, whatever, knock yourself out, because I just really feel I'm not going to get out of this fucking hospital. Well, she did the energy healing on me, and within an hour I was up and fucking walking. And of course, you know, the hospital was taking credit for this, and I said, don't even fucking pat yourself on the fucking back. It wasn't you. That led to another fucking situation where basically they had me on blood thinners, but with this stupid HMO, the doctors weren't corresponding. So I would wake up and be pissing fucking tomato juice. I was bleeding because whatever was going on inside me was fucking coming loose, and I had to get that rectified. That was a miserable fucking 6 months on Coumadin, and nothing was ever fucking resolved. As a result, I didn't see a doctor for 10 fucking years until I moved to Ohio, and President Obama made it mandatory to have health insurance, and in him doing that, he basically saved my life. So I was walking around with a fucking pain in my left side. And I had a colonoscopy in Jersey, and they told me that I had diverticulitis, but they never told me what to do about it. Well, it tore, and long story short, a few years ago I lost 18 inches of my colon. My point in all this is, yeah, I did beat the cancer, but it wasn't so much the cancer that almost killed me, it was the fucking miserable medical fucking treatment I got in New Jersey. And to all you guys out there, you know, I'm not trying to scare you off. All I'm saying is get yourself checked, especially when you hit around, 35 to 40. Get yourself checked, because this is an insidious little fucking thing. It gives you no indication of what's going on. I mean, they're not going to stick their fucking finger up your ass. Your girlfriend will do that. You like that. But the doctor's not going to stick their finger up your ass. They're going to do a fucking blood test, and if your PSA is elevated, then they got to check things out. The reason you want to get this taken care of very quickly is because what happens is, and unfortunately it happened to Telly Savalas, Frank Zappa, and Dennis Hopper, that the cancer gets out of where it is and goes into your backbone and into your bone structure. And, that's what took out those three gentlemen, all stars and things like that. And as far as how I got it, who knows? The only thing I have in common with any of them would be Frank Zappa, because I was a smoker, and Frank was a smoker. Plus I was exposed to a lot of asbestos when I was a mechanic and shit, but I don't know about that. But again, don't believe any of the shit that they fucking tell you. Because, alright, maybe I had it, maybe I don't, but like I said, when you get the C word gets thrown at you, you fucking shut down. When I was in this doctor's office, and they used a robot, and this guy was an engineer before he was a doctor. I think this was a question of he was happy with his toy and shit. But anyway, I was sitting in his office waiting for my consultation after surgery, when I hear him in the next room giving the same line to the next guy who was going to have the surgery. So it was almost like a line verbatim, line for line, fucking, this is what you should do. And I'm thinking, maybe I was sold a bill of goods. There's an off chance. Maybe I didn't fucking have it. But, que sera, sera. It's too late now. All I'm saying is, be careful. My generation was brought up to trust people, doctors, police, and everything like that. And we all know to this day, you can't trust any of the motherfuckers. So, if something happens, get a second opinion, but don't fuck yourself up. Get yourself checked. And get yourself a decent doctor, one who gives a shit and knows what they're fucking doing. Because unfortunately, what we've become is basically a bunch of these fucking clinics where doctors bounce in and out, according to their whims. So, yeah, I'm a cancer survivor. I beat it, and I pray that my friends that also have prostate cancer also beat it. Because any of this shit's a nasty fucking disease, and like I said, it wasn't the cancer that almost killed me, it was the shitty fucking medical treatment that almost took me out. So, that's my cancer story, and like I said, guys, be safe, just get it checked out.